Good morning on this beautiful May Wednesday. I think it's the first Wednesday in May, right?
Yes,
Uh,
it is.
with today's episode of More Than Just Task Management, your favorite daily podcast that helps you build a thriving business in the 21st century. With me, Anna Angelova, business coach and consultant, and my co-host, Jores Minasvant, a business consultant and co-founder of Leficom. Hey, Jores, good morning.
Good morning, Anna. Good morning, everyone. Great to be here. What a beautiful Wednesday it is.
It is beautiful, sunny for a
And,
change. The previous couple of days started a little bit gloomy, but now that we are talking about data and how it drives
oh,
small business insights, the sun is out.
yeah, yeah, it's actually absolutely data is one of the most powerful tools that can be used, but it's extremely underused, especially in the small to medium-sized businesses. And this is something that Anna, it's yours and my passion, and we really see the value, what it can do for small and medium businesses, and nobody's paying attention to it. And this is what we're trying to, we're becoming the evangelists of this. It's not just for large companies, corporations. Small, medium businesses can also use data.
Exactly. And this is one of the things that um, one of the things is that like, when you think about data, when most people think about data, especially when it comes to the small, mid-sized business owners, like data, we think about petabytes of data, right? Like we think about all those, like with the banks, right? All those transactions that are happening, like thousands of transactions every single second, right?
Yeah.
We think about some of those things where most small businesses don't really have that vast amounts of data. And the thing is that data itself is kind of useless, right? Like
On its own, yeah.
what matters is the insights you get out of it. It's not the data itself that matters, right? And it's the insights. And that's why as a small business owner, um, like having the data in front of you that allows you to get the insights, it's really key. And it can be
Mhm.
something completely different than what big corporations have, right?
Mhm.
Uh, the big guys, like the big corporations, they have analytics teams. Like they have whole departments that gather the data, analyze it, create models, and things like this.
Mhm.
As a business owner, like especially small business, in a small business, you can have an Excel spreadsheet. And that's it, right? This is it. This is where
Mhm.
you can have your data and you can get your insights out of it. And it can be
Absolutely.
your secret weapon in a way because it provides like
Mhm.
when you monitor the right metrics, which we'll dive a little bit later on, it allows you to see clearly what's going on with your business and where you need to focus your attention, which is so key in today's world, right? For us to build a
Mhm.
thriving business today, we really need to be focused and pay attention to the few key areas that really matter for a small business and mid-sized business
Mhm.
as well. Like what's working, what's not working, and again, where to focus next. Like what really we need to pay attention to.
Very, very well put. And so a few things that you mentioned. Large corporations have large data. Yes, you need large amounts of data for uh, analytics and large ML and AI that. But yeah, like you said, even an Excel spreadsheet. Imagine uh, your banking information on your phone. Any moment that you want to make a decision, do I buy this object, do I hire this person, you can turn on your phone and see, yes, I have an account where I have a payroll account that can feed, you can pay for this guy for 6 months without even worrying, let me go get this guy, he's going to be uh, the right person for my company. So in the it's the right data at the right time. Timing also matters. And I remember in the mid 2000, between 2005 and 2010, when we were building these analytical systems, before they were being called business intelligence BI, they were called DSS. decision support systems. And I find that even more relevant for small to medium businesses where your data supports you in make the right decision at the right time when you need it.
Oh,
So
very well put. Very well put. And the thing is that majority of small businesses, mid-sized businesses, will not have a lot of data. However, there are small businesses that have a lot of data. Like if you are in manufacturing, right, you can actually have and you have machines that are working on their own. With IoT, you can actually get a lot of data, right? You can actually see how to optimize things and make things better. So even when we talk about a small business, like your case might be different, right? You might actually uh, have the vast amounts of data just because of the type of business you're in. So, like
absolutely.
again, even with small, mid-sized businesses, data can be transformational. And Joris, I loved what you said that like decision making. It's all about helping you make the right decision at the right time with the right metrics.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We keep coming back to this um, printing company that we went to about a month and a half earlier to pick up our business cards. And I saw these invoices piled up and I looked at it and I'm like, wow, if this owner gets all this data into a system where he can get information insights out of it, he can easily understand who are his top 20% of profitable customers. So he can focus on them, he can resell them. Then who are the bottom 20s and understand why are they bottom 20? Why aren't they buying from him? There's so much power in data that can be harnessed and used that it doesn't have to be a lot of data. It just has to be the right data that's relevant to your company, to your operation, to your business. So, which is a segue for us to go into the talk a little bit about the key metrics and KPIs that every small business should track. Anna, you want to walk us through a few of those relevant ones?
Yeah, you already started giving an example. So first and foremost, profit margins and profitability. So this goes together with revenue, but ultimately, business. If you are a business, no a for-profit business, right? If you are a for-profit business, your main goal is to make profit. So measuring and monitoring revenue and profit margins and the profit itself, like how much it is. And it's one actually profit is one of our KPIs, our 4 KPIs, right? This is so important because again, this is why you are in business. This is why you
Mhm.
exist. Yes, there are the other purposes of where we want to make a change in the world. We want to have things work better and in a different way. Absolutely. However, profit is king, and it's not just sales, right? Like it's not just the revenue.
It's
And
not just revenue,
why you want to look at profits and revenue? It ultimately shows you profit and revenue ultimately shows you how successful your business is, right? It gives you
yeah.
this is the if you just look at this one, this is your metric that shows you how successful your business is. Are you thriving or not? Like, especially when you
Mhm.
look at it from in the long term, right? The trend, when you see the trend, what's going with your revenue? Is it up and
Mhm.
down? Is it fluctuating or is it going down? Is it going up? And what's going on with your profit margins? It
Mhm.
is these are the metrics, like profit,
Mhm.
revenue, and the profit metrics are the ones that really give you a bird's eye view of where your
Mhm.
business is, how it's doing, and in
Before we
general,
move off of the profit, I
yeah,
just want to bring something up. I'm sorry to cut you off, but uh, before we move off the profit, yes, it's good to know you're profitable. It also very to understand your business and enable it to grow. It's good to understand where is that profit coming from. Then you can focus on doing better in the right place, right? It's also very important. because if you don't watch out where your profit is coming from, over time you may lose sight of it, right? I think that one segues into the second one I think you're going to talk about, which is with customer. It's also good to know where that profit comes from.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So profit and revenue, if this is like the highest level, then what you're saying, absolutely, like knowing, and what you mentioned, right? Who are your top 20 customers, right?
Profitable customers.
The ones, exactly, the ones that bring you 80% of your profits, like the Pareto rule, right? And the
Yep.
ones that your team loves working with, you love working with them. It's a joy. Like they are not a hassle. They are your super fans. And most likely, these are also the people who are, um, these are also the people who are actually referring business to you, bringing others to you. So who are they? And again, once you know who they are, it gives you the insight that you get out of it. As a small business, it gives you the insight of, oh, these are the people who love us. We love working with them. These are the people who also bring us business. So let's make sure that they feel treated in an exceptional way every time. Turn them into VIPs, right? And I've been attending Darren Hardy's business masterclass, and like highly recommend. Awesome experience, and he talked about this and how interesting it is that like once you identify like 20%, right? If you think about the 20%, so if you have 100 customers, right? 20% is 20 people, right? It's 20 people who are the ones that bring you that revenue, the ones that bring you the profits. So why not focus on these people? Like make them some kind of VIP. And then what's interesting is that if you apply it again, right? If you apply it again, the Pareto rule, what it turns out is that 20% bring 80%, but then if you apply it again, you have the thing that 4% of your customers actually bring you 64% of your business. So it turns out that if you have 1,000 people, right? If you have 1,000 people, it's actually 40, right? It's actually 40 that bring you 64% of your profits and revenue. Why not make this 40 feel loved and right? So it's really it gives you great insight. And while we're on the topic of customers, of course, some other values, and these are metrics. So as a business owner, we did have an episode where we talked about the 4 KPIs you should be monitoring as a business owner. So when you're wearing your business owner hat, the leadership hat, you need the 4 KPIs that we talked about, right? Profitability, customer satisfaction, employee satisfaction, and impact. These are the ones you want to focus on. The metrics that we're covering right now, they go more to the operational part where, like, if you're a solopreneur, of course, like you need to monitor this when you're wearing the other hats, when you're wearing the hat of being the operations manager, right? Like or the sales manager, marketing manager, right? So when we talk about the customer journey, when we think about the customer journey, cost of acquisition, right? How much does it cost you to acquire one customer? And then a key thing is that very few business owners think about the lifetime value of a customer. And they are saying, oh, if I spent $200 to acquire a customer, to get a customer, but they pay me $100, then I lose 100. Wait. The fact that the first transaction was $100 doesn't mean that you lost, because if the lifetime value of your customer is actually 20,000, you just invested $200 and you just got 20,000. Isn't this worth it? Even if it's not 20,000, if it's 2,000, isn't it worth it? You just 10x your $200. Even if it's 500, you just 2.5x, like multiplied your $200 into made it 500, right? So important, and a lot of people have no idea. That's why I love the example you keep on giving. We don't know what's going on with that company, right? We just saw the stacks of paper, but that's why we're giving that example, because if you don't have that information clear for you, you don't know, like you don't know these things, and you're not willing to spend 200. And if you have the information and you know that, oh, the lifetime value of a customer is like 20,000, wouldn't you even invest 1,000 to get a customer? 1,000 turning into 20,000, wouldn't you? So really,
Sure.
really important to know this one.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, some other things is conversion rates, from the people that you bring, how many um, sign up or become clients, customers, and so on. And what this gives you, so the conversion rate is one of the things it shows you. If you think about the business insight that it provides, it shows you uh, two things, right? It indicates one of two things. You're either not bringing the right people in, so you're not focusing really on the right
Mm-hmm.
prospects, or there's something with the offer, right? Something with you're not focusing on a problem that's big enough for them, right? Or one of the two.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
most likely it's the first thing, that you're not bringing the right people, because when you focus on the right people, you like your offer can be kind of weak, but when they have the right pain, right, they'll buy your thing. They'll get what you have. Mm,
Mm-hmm.
and then with the lifetime value of a customer, the business insight that it gives you is that ultimately again, it also shows how much value your business creates, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Absolutely.
if people come back to you, right, come for other purchases, and over time keep on reinvesting in whatever you're offering, keep on coming back and love you and stay with you for years and years and years and bring others, it shows you that you're on the right path. You have something
Mm-hmm.
special. But
Yeah.
if you have a low lifetime value, like very transactional, then you need to worry about this actually, because
Mm-hmm.
you might be gone tomorrow. And we're not here to sugarcoat things. And
Mm-hmm.
that's why we're sharing like all these different metrics, and how data, it's not just the data, it's the insight it gives you, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then for the acquisition cost, as I was saying, it kind of plays together with the customer lifetime value, because like you can see that you might have room for opportunity to invest even more to acquire customers, to really um, spend resources, money, to get in the door, like people who you love working with, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's of course, it can also be showing you that you have a lot of waste. It can also be an indication of a lot of waste, though,
Yes.
because
Yes. Yes.
yeah, it's really, and
Mm-hmm.
this is where like using it together with conversion rate, right? If you get 10,000 prospects, and only one of them turns into a customer, even if
Mm-hmm.
this customer, like you spend like $200 to acquire this customer, and the lifetime value is 20,000, like there's something wrong there. Like you have waste in your processes. So sometimes, yeah, sometimes you need to actually look at all of these together, because business, like anything else, it's a system. And we're taught to look at things linearly, and that, oh, this causes this, and that it's a linear a cause and effect kind of thing. But the business is a system, so really thinking into looking into this. And one last one I want to add, because I know I've talked quite a lot about the different metrics and what insights they bring us.
That's okay.
Employee, like also employee data, and one of the key ones we talked about is how satisfied your employees are, right? Along with how satisfied your customers are, but
Mm-hmm.
also looking at other metrics, right? How productive they are, right? This is something else that you can look and see. Are they doing the right things, right? Like, and you can also see,
Mm-hmm.
this can also indicate mm, like if someone, let's say, when they start with you, that they're really engaged, they're really productive, they make let's say a salesperson, right? They make 50 calls a day, for example, and book whatever 20 sales calls after that, or like to move 20 people prospects on the path in the pipeline, and like, they're doing very well in the beginning, but then you start noticing that the metrics change, right? You start noticing that they're not doing 50 calls anymore, they're doing 20 calls, and from 20 calls they just get one prospect moving on in the pipeline. So this can be an indication of something going on. So there are a lot of metrics that are out there, right, for the different parts of the business that you can measure. And just a reminder, like just Jores, you mentioned this, don't overwhelm yourself. Like you don't want to monitor 100 things and get lost in the weeds. Like you
3 to
really
5
want to
is
stay
more than
focused.
enough. Yeah, if you pick
Yeah.
the right ones, 3 to 5 is more than enough. That's number one. Number two is you have to be ready, and I think you nailed it, Anna. The data does not discriminate. When you start using data, if you're doing something right, it will show it. If you're doing something wrong, it will show it. So you have to have the stomach to understand and deal with what you're doing wrong and be ready to change, because it will show you. It will show you you're doing something wrong. Like you said, the most darling of your employees, now you have to fire him or her or repurpose him or her because they're not actually productive. They just look busy. So you have to be ready mentally to use data, both the good part that it shows and deal with the bad part that it shows for the health of your operations. So yeah, so we talked a lot about the KPIs and data-driven decisions. Now let's talk about a couple of simple steps on how to start making the data-driven decisions.
Yeah, go ahead.
And
You
I
can
know
you
we're
can
running out of time, but
I know. Go
yeah.
ahead. Go ahead. You
So
can
yeah,
quickly share them. Yeah.
sure. First and foremost, as you mentioned, Anna, pick a goal. Pick one goal. For example, I want to increase profitability, or I want to reduce cost expenses. I think every customer we speak with, they want to reduce expenses. So let's pick reducing expenses. Then identify one or two KPIs tied to that goal. For example, for expenses, you can look at literally you can what you call sort your expenses from the top to the bottom, and then each one of them you look at each expense and you ask question: is this necessary? Does this uh, uh, actually contribute to my bottom line or profit? Do I really need this? Can it be optimized? And I think going back to what we talked about yesterday, one of the ways to reduce expenses is automation, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah. And
if it can be odd, yeah, go ahead.
continue. I would just want to
Yeah,
add one thing for
yeah,
expenses.
go ahead. No, it's good. Before we move on to the next step, go ahead.
Yeah, so in addition to automation, one thing that we mentioned a few episodes ago, I know we talked about this, that very few business owners actually take the time to do, and it can be huge. So it is renegotiating or going and re-signing some of the contracts you have, especially when we talk about services like your cell phone, your internet. Because what these companies do is they have newer and newer, so they grandfather whatever we sign with them, they grandfather this and they keep on charging us while they introduce newer packages, different packages that are at a lower price actually here in Canada. And I don't know about US, but here in Canada, this is what we experience. Like we went to one of the carriers and they said, oh, we are not offering this anymore. We now have this one, and this one is actually like $30 less than what you're paying right now. Like what?
Unbelievable. Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
reviewing this regularly, actually with expenses and these KPIs, yeah, and this is one of the things that businesses really look at, because you think, oh yeah, it's one thing to look at, is it necessary or is it a waste? But then if it's necessary, is there an option to negotiate, either renegotiate this or go and see, do they have something new that actually offers you a better deal?
Absolutely. You're spot on. Number three, set up a dashboard, a very simple dashboard for those to view those KPIs. Your CRM tool may have it, your accounting tool may have it. Even if you have to download it and put it into some kind of a spreadsheet, just have it somewhere that you can refer to it. Lastly, there are two, at the minimum, check it weekly. You need to check this weekly to understand where you're headed. But you can also check it at if you have this data at your fingertips, anytime you want to make a decision, an important decision, you can always refer back to, do I have the money to pay for it? If this increases my OPEX by 10%, can I afford it for the next 6 months to a year? So this is what we call decision support system. They put a lot of gobbledygook advanced names on it to charge people more, but these are real value to them. They help you make the right decision at the right time. So, yeah, I think we got passionate and we went over again, Anna. Let's wrap it up and let everyone get back to this nice sunny Wednesday.
Oh, of course, we are passionate about this, and it's a very important topic for any business, right? And especially small mid-sized businesses. So one thing I want to reiterate and repeat it again and again and again, is that, like anything else, data for the sake of data is not metrics for the sake of metrics. This is not the purpose. And that's why we talked about the business insights. What insights does it give you? So love the steps you mentioned, Jores. And you don't start with the metrics. You don't start at, oh, let me start measuring these metrics. No, you start with, like you said, what's the goal? What do I want to improve? What do I want to change? What do I want more visibility into? And then from there, you go and see what are the metrics that make sense for you to measure, so you can see what's going on and start making better decisions. So as an action item for you for today is to look at a process where either you don't have those metrics, you're not measuring, you're not monitoring, and you will start. Or even if you are monitoring this, really think about what insight they give you. Like, what does it mean, right? And you might reevaluate some of the metrics you are measuring and remove some. And always start with removing, by the way. Always start with simplifying. So yeah, as an action item, start getting insights from the data you have, even if it's just a few things you monitor. Like the insight it gives you, it's invaluable. It's invaluable. And if you haven't signed up for our newsletter, bi-weekly newsletter, I'll actually leave a link in the description, because we provide even more value there in our newsletter, like additional insights into how you can build a thriving business. So we would love to see you there as well. I will leave the link in the episode description. And thank you for being with us once again. And we'll be back tomorrow morning, right?
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Don't forget to subscribe and share.
Absolutely.
See you guys tomorrow.
Thanks, Jores.
Bye, Anna. Thank you.